Hey guys, so I want to tell you a story, and to be honest, I'm like, dude, God, like, what was the point of that? And I guess it's a lot of it has to do with like breaking off like the fear of rejection or something, the fear of like being truthful. So there's a guy I met online, and I was like, the Lord was basically telling me like, go see this person, right? So this person's like, oh yeah, like my mom died when I was 3, and so I was like, okay, I felt like it was a divine appointment. And anyway, so long story short, like God was like, okay, just go see him. And I was like, I don't know about this. But I was like, okay, you know what? I was like, life is short. Okay, cool. Like, just follow what the Lord is saying, even though like a lot of times it honestly does not make sense to me. So I went, right? And I think a lot of this has to really do with like the fear of confrontation, things like that. So I go, and like, he is not what he looks like in his photo, okay? Like, he weighs probably more, and like, he's just does not look the same as his photo. And I'm like, dude, what the heck? So I didn't want to say anything because I don't want to be mean and be like, oh my god, you don't look like your photo or whatever. So I didn't say anything. So like, I'm like trying to get to know him, talking to him, like, okay. And I could feel that I was feeling suppressed emotionally, and I was like, okay, like, obviously, you know. So I left, and oh god. So I was like, dude, I need to like get it off my chest. So I called him, and I was like, look, like, I enjoy talking to you, but like, honestly, like, you did not look like your photo. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you only took a picture of your face and not your body. And like, I was trying to say it as nice as possible, okay? As nice as possible. I was like, yeah, like, you only had a picture of your face and not your body, and like all this stuff. And I was like, I'm sorry, but I really did not feel like an emotional connection. And then he basically said that I was making fun of his disability, which is autism. And I was like, I'm not making fun of your disability. Like, you know, I just all in all did not like feel a connection. And he's like, oh, so it's just because of my looks? Basically, he told me, like, is there anything I can do to improve? Like, just tell me exactly what. And I was like, no, I just, like, I'm sorry, you're not my husband. Like, I just know that, like, in my heart. And he was like, oh my god, I got you Starbucks, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, my portion was, like, $6. Like, I don't understand. Like, he's like, well, you know, you should have told me, you should have given me a heads up that maybe, or maybe not, you'll be my girlfriend. I was like, what? I was like, this is the first time we're meeting. Like, why would I promise you that I'll be your girlfriend just because I met with you for the first time? And it was just weird. Like, basically, he ended up like cussing at me, and I got really angry too. So yeah, I cussed back, and then I just hung up. I was really angry, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a mature adult and like tell him how I feel. So I called him back, and I was like, dude, like, when you cussed at me, it really hurt my feelings. He's like, so what? You called to like guilt trip me? And I was like, no, like, I'm trying to have an adult, mature conversation. And then so it did not end well, basically. So I was like, God, what was the point of that? But I was thinking about it, and I was like, I think that when it comes to like, okay, so my dad lives in Taiwan, and it's like, yeah, I want to see him, but every time I go, I'm like disappointed because he'll like disappear for a week, or like, I don't know how he is, and like how he'll avoid, you know, relationship with me. And so I'm always like, I have a desire to see my dad, but it's always very disappointing, right? And I realized like that has to do with that. And also like this fear of like confrontation, right? Because I didn't grow up with my dad. And he's very avoidant of all emotions. Like, this fear of like, okay, is there something I have to tell my dad when I see him? And like it won't be what he wants to hear, and he may react in a bad way, right? So I think a lot of us have a fear of confrontation, because it's like, So this dude was like, oh, I've been fat shamed by girls before, and like, so I was like, oh no, like, oh my god, he's gonna be so sensitive if I say anything. And not that I said anything about like, oh, you're fat or whatever. I didn't say anything like that. But it was more like I said that I felt deceived. Like, when someone's photo doesn't look like how they look like in real life, that's technically deception. And, well, I've talked to people about this, but yeah, a lot of people have been catfished. And I used to be offended that they were like, oh yeah, like, I don't know you, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, like, people really do lie online, right? Even if you're, like, the best person in the world, like, you're honest. So basically, it did not go well because he ended up, because I told him my truth, like, I don't feel emotional connection. He's like, why do I spend money on you? Like, you know, like, if I spend money on someone, I just expect them to be my girlfriend. I was like, what the F is, like, in your head? Like, there is nowhere in the world, in life, that, like, anything is a guarantee. Like, you take risks, no matter what. When you go on a date, you're taking a risk. When you meet a new friend, you're taking a risk. I was best friends with this girl for a year, and she was like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Could I have predicted that? Oh, hell no. I felt like, okay, well, I invested 1 year of my life, spending time with her, like, telling her everything about my life. Like, she told me about her life. We became very close. It's like, did I expect that, like, this dude who was doing drugs was gonna come into her life and, like, basically kind of, like, take her away from me as a friend? No, I did not expect that. Okay, and it's like, to say, like, oh, oh, I wasted gas money, or like, I gave you gas money and I spent, money on a drink for you, whatever. And it's like, it didn't go anywhere. It's like, yo, anything in life, you gotta invest time, energy, money. Like, if you want what you want, I have flown all the way to Taiwan to see my dad, thinking that, oh, I'm gonna spend time with him, and he's disappeared for like a week after he picked me up from the airport. Like, and now I've gotten to a point in my life where it's like, I'm not gonna let people get away with stuff. Like, I'm gonna call them out and, like, keep calling them until they answer. Like, and guess what? They will answer, because people will get annoyed by phone calls. And it's like, people can avoid things all their life, but, like, no, I'm not gonna avoid my issues and what I want, right? So, anyways, the point is, yeah, it costs, like, a lot of money to fly to Taiwan. It costs a lot of time. And it's like, you may be like, what the heck? Like, I didn't get what I deserved in this situation. But it's like, that's love. Like, you have to invest time, energy, money, everything into it. And it's like, if you're that scared to, like, be present in your life, to show up for what you want, then you're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get whatever you want. Like, and it's like, some people are like, oh, well, if you're looking for a husband, like, you're not gonna find one. Like, oh, like, you just have to, like, be content and, like, be happy with yourself. And it's like, dude, do you look for a house? Do you look for a car? Do you look for things? Like, you go after exactly what you want, and you have to put yourself out there. Like, you don't live your life in fear and pretend like it's like, I feel like God's always telling me, like, don't be afraid of what you want, even if it's not necessarily reciprocal, right? Like, there's something in your heart that's telling you, like, hey, I want to go see my parents, I want to go see this person, but you're, like, scared of rejection. That's something you need to overcome, because that is going to block you in every single part of your life, in relationships and friendships, because you're not going to ask for what you need in a relationship. You're not going to ask for what you deserve. And so, like, when you push through those things and say, you know what, I'm not going to let that fear of silence make me submit to this corner of fear, this cave of fear. I'm going to speak up for myself. I'm going to tell my truth, even though that person cussed me out. It's like, okay, you know what? At least I told my truth. And it's like, it's hard. Like, that whole situation was so hard. And I was like, God, what was the point of that? Like, and part of that, like, was also, it triggered that person, and his fear of rejection. Because it's like, it's one thing to be like, hey, you know what? Like, you want everything to go well in life, right? You're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna meet this person, and this is rosy fantasy of like, it's gonna work out. But life does not happen like that. You have to take your chances. I have taken so many chances in my life, and it's not easy, because there are times I'm like, whoa, what the heck? Did I really have to go through that? Like, I didn't like that. Because when I told my truth, essentially what happened was I got rejected. I got pushed out. Like, I was cussed at. It's like a demon basically came out of that person, and it's like, it's scary. Okay, because like, I've had times where it's like, I was traveling and I had to knock on someone's door and tell them like, hey, can you turn down the music? And they've gotten really angry. But what is that? Confronting the fear of rejection, confronting the fear of judgment, and asking for what it is that you need. So I even talked to my therapist about this, that she's like, you know, if you feel led to talk to someone while we're talking on the phone, like, do that. Like, don't be afraid of like cutting, or just saying like, you know what, I need to talk to this person on the street, or like, you know, asking for your needs. I think a lot of times we're afraid to ask for our needs. So, and it's hard. The more we come out of hiding, the more we have to ask and speak up and voice our opinion. And it's scary because you don't know how that person will act. I got called a cunt for telling him that I felt deceived about his photo. And then he accused me of saying that, of judging him for his looks, or not liking him because of his looks. Well, guess what? We are all judgmental. We all have preferences, especially when it comes to our future spouse. No one in their right minds is like, oh, I don't care about looks at all. Like, no, we care about looks. And that's what it is. Like, unfortunately, and not fortunately, it's like, that's how God made us. Like, we judge based on looks. Especially when it comes to someone we're supposed to be sexually attracted to. Right? So, anyways, that's my little story. So, if there's something in your life that you're like, man, like, I wish that I could speak up about something, I pray for you that God will give you a courage to confront what it is that you need to confront. God bless. Bye. Thanks for watching.